We get lots of questions here at the Fort Bend Central Appraisal District about protesting your property value. Today in this video, we're going to go through the ins and outs of appealing your value and everything you need to know. The first thing property owners need to be aware of is the Notice of Appraised Value. This notice is sent to all Fort Bend County property owners starting in April, although some take a little bit longer. On that notice, you'll see the value assigned for the year, exemptions that might be listed on the account, and a protest form. This is when you decide whether you want to protest. Did you purchase the property recently? Does your property need major repairs? Are you aware of sales in your neighborhood that might help to get you a lower value? These are all issues that may prompt you to file your protest. There is no cost to file a protest, nor is there a penalty to protest. There are a few different ways to file your protest. The first and probably the most popular is online. We have an online appeal system and an e-file. The online appeal system includes an informal review by an FBCAD appraiser. The FBCAD appraiser will review any documents that you've uploaded into that system and make an offer based on all the available evidence. E-file is another option if you want to submit your protest electronically. This is more like the traditional way of filing a protest, just online through our website. You can also submit it by U.S. mail, or you come visit us in person. The online appeal system is the fastest way to file an appeal and receive an informal value offer from an FBCAD appraiser. The system allows you to upload pertinent documents, maybe a closing statement or repair estimates. All communications are handled through email, and there's a limited time to accept or reject the offer. If there is no response, then an ARB hearing will be scheduled automatically. You can look at these options at fbcad.org/appeals. After filing your protest, you'll wait for a hearing notice from the Appraisal Review Board. That notice should arrive more than 2 weeks before your hearing. It includes instructions from the Appraisal Review Board. Make sure you read them, they're very important. If you filed your protest via e-file, in person, or by U.S. mail, you have the option to schedule an informal meeting with an appraiser. The informal meeting with an appraiser is typically conducted either through telephone, video conference, or email. You'll be able to discuss how the value was developed, provide evidence to the appraiser, and then the appraiser will recommend a value. This would be the opportunity to settle your protest before appearing before the Appraisal Review Board. Most protests are resolved at this stage. The informal meeting must be held prior to the formal hearing with the Appraisal Review Board. You can request an informal meeting by going to fbcad.org/informal. What to expect in the ARB hearing? Typically, the ARB hearing will have a 3-member panel, although you can select a 1-member panel as well. It lasts approximately 15 minutes or so, and you can also choose an in-person, telephone, video conference, or affidavit hearing. In the hearing, the ARB chairman will introduce themselves and the property to the room, and also the basis for the hearing. Appraiser introduces him or herself. Typically, the property owner presents their evidence first, although the board will give you the option to go second if you choose. The appraiser presents FBCAD's evidence and makes a recommendation. You, the property owner, will get an opportunity to respond or offer a rebuttal to anything the appraiser says. And then the board will decide the final value. What evidence should you bring? Successful protests typically involve information unknown to the appraisal district. You'll want to bring in maybe a closing statement from your recent purchase, repair estimates, dated and executed with authorized signature, dated photos, sales or comparables in your neighborhood. Really, what you want to ask yourself is, what will help me support my opinion of value? Remember to bring copies of your presentation for the 3 panel members and the appraiser. Understanding your evidence from the FBCAD. FBCAD will make available all evidence it intends to use in your protest hearing 2 weeks before the hearing is to take place. The first page is going to be your property record card. Here you'll see information regarding your property. You'll see the description, overall market and assessed values, physical attributes of the improvements or the buildings on the land, specific improvement information included but not limited to year built, area, class, depreciation, and more. You'll also find land information there. Page 2 is the comparable sales report. Here you'll see information from your property and for comparable properties that have sold in your area. For your property, you'll see a description of the property, which includes a quick reference number and situs, the taxable location of the property. Improvement information, including but not limited to year build, area, class, location, and more. The noticed values on each of the properties, and land information. For the comparable properties, you'll see a description of the property as well, including that quick reference number and the situs, the taxable location of the property. Improvement information is also included, but not limited to the year build, area, class, location, and more. Just as with your property, you'll see the notice values and land information. What's unique here is you'll see the adjustments made to those comparable properties to compare them to the subject property. Adjustments made to comparable properties are to mirror them to the subject property. Adjustments made are listed below the adjustment row, located approximately halfway down the report. The adjusted sale price at the bottom essentially is what our data suggests that property would have sold for if it were characteristically identical to your property, the subject property. The comparable sales report looks at the most comparable properties to yours, adjusting the comparables for any differences to mirror your property, including but not limited to land size, square footage, characteristics, pool, spa, year build, and many other factors. After adjusting for any differences, this report will show the current market value of your property in a range. Page 3, Uniform and Equal Comparable Report. Here you will see information like description of the property, again, just like you've seen on previous pages, improvement information including but not limited to the year build, area, class, depreciation, which is reflected as percent good, and more. Once again, see the notice values and land information. It's important to understand this is not a sales report. The Uniform and Equal Comparables report looks at the most comparable properties to yours, adjusting the comparables for any differences, including but not limited to things like land size, square footage, and age. After adjusting for any differences, this report will show how uniform and equal the appraised value of your property is when compared to comparable properties. Did we treat your property uniform and equal or the same as similar properties to yours? So what happens after the hearing? The Appraisal Review Board will send notification of final value. That value will be used to calculate your tax bill. Jurisdictions must then go through their tax rate adoption hearings to establish the tax rate needed to fund their budgets. If you are unsatisfied with the ARB decision, you, the property owner, can pursue remedy through arbitration or litigation. Information about that will be included in that notification that is sent after your formal hearing.